Steve, this is the championship, the Winter's Trainers Championship. It's lovely and shiny. Did you fill it up with a little bit of Guinness after winning it?
No, we didn't manage to do that, but it ended up in the Harold House pub there. Ricky Delaney's there for a couple of months, and we've shown it off there to plenty of people, and it's something I'm very proud of in my first season. Massive achievement. My assistant Stephen Mooney, myself, Jack Davison's team here, at Killarkin Stud have been a huge help to me since I started from day one, and I have a lot of people to thank. Obviously my Shamrock Thoroughbreds syndicate, all my shareholders, they've been with me from day one, very loyal people, and from top to bottom, I have a lot of people to thank. But great to get it, and for every winner there was a little story behind each one, little niggles along the way, but everyone pulled together. Farriers, vets, you name it. There were a lot of people behind getting this into this office. So
it's about keeping it here now, isn't it? And we're not going too bad. We're tracking nicely for the new season.
Yeah, we've had a great start, and look at this, a long winter. I've a dozen horses, fresh horses to go to war with again. We're going to keep things tight like we did last year, and if we're there for a finish, it'll be great. And if not, just to get my name on that once, is a huge achievement, and hopefully down the road we'll be winning it again.
Not done with awards, of course. The HRI Emerging Talent Award. You've been nominated. Some obviously fantastic nominations there as well. But how much would that mean for you to not just win the Winter's Championship in your first season as a racehorse trainer, but to get an award like that and to get recognised by the powers that be? That must be something you're really proud of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just to be even nominated for it, it's a huge. It's massive, and I think that between obviously getting our hands on this, and then to kick on with a fresh batch of turf horses this season, we were a little in the dark as to whether the handicapper had a hold of some of them or not. But obviously Pink Oxalis came along. She was our first Premier Handicap winner on Champions Weekend, and the season just rolled. Lovely winner on Oaks Weekend with her too. Represented by Gleneagle Bay at all the big meetings as well, Galway and the Victoria Cup at Ascot. We had a trip to Royal Ascot with two runners.
And Shoot to Kill,
our 100 winner for the syndicate as well. So with a lot of talking points through the season. Obviously Shamrock then won the All Weather Owner Award. We're down at Castle Palace, picked up that there a few weeks ago too. So we've had a lot of success stories to talk about this year, and it's just given me the ability to get some fresh horses in. The old batch, the old warriors, a lot of them have moved on, and we've had a lot of restocking to do. So I'm very supportive of the sole owners that have come in to play Ammo Racing, in particular.
John Kirkland.
John Kirkland, massive support from them. I had my first winner for them last week with Ocean Manifest, so hopefully that's a nice relationship that'll continue to thrive. We've a lot of people to thank.
Here with this gorgeous recruit, Instant Appeal, very like the race 4-year-old, and get off the mark for you in Dundalk on the 31st of October.
Yeah, Barry's a grand horse there. We got him in August there in the online sale, the Goffs Go online sale. Picked him up, for nice, handy money. I described him at, I think it was around 15,000. So I thought he'd be a lovely horse for the syndicate there for the winter. A highly rated horse in his day. This horse was placed behind City of Troy in a maiden, going back as a 2-year-old, but he had a.
It's not bad form.
Yeah, he had a pelvic injury after that, and they just had to be patient with him. But he'd been running very well in defeat on the turf this year, and he was one of those alpha racing horses. They were moving him on, so it was right place, right time. First run for us was very good. David Egan was over, ran a little bit keen and gassy through the race, got there a bit too soon, and we were keen to put Shane on him the last night. So in the 080 there a couple of weeks ago, he won very nicely. It was a small field, dropped him out, and he came through them. It was ran in the fog, but what we could see of the race the last half hour on, he looked good, and we're eyeing up the 0 to 100 mile handicap there on the 5th of December now in a couple of weeks' time.
Absolutely. Obviously, the handicapper gave him £8. Do you think there's a good bit more to come for Alan this winter?
Yeah, look, I think it would hopefully will give him plenty of confidence, and he's a horse that's showed his hand there in work. He's been very impressive, of what we've seen him in work, and hopefully that'll give him plenty of confidence now to roll forward now with the winter. he's a fresh horse, you know, in my view anyway, for the system for the winter months, and hopefully he'll serve us well.
Shamrock Thoroughbreds, the syndicate, the owners, they must be excited with this fella.
Yeah, exactly. You know, as I said, I love when they don't cost a bomb. I give plenty more money for horses that don't even win a race. So he was bought for the right money, and hopefully the lads a bit of fun with him.
Best of luck with him.
Thank you.
Steve, this is Gleneagle Bay, obviously a fine specimen of a horse. Previously trained by Joseph O'Brien. Took you to some of the big festivals this year. Are you hoping maybe more to come next season with him?
Yeah, I would describe him as probably one of the most unluckiest horses in training this year. He was just touched off in the Victoria Cup, and just came so agonisingly close to winning a big heritage handicap for us in our first season. But anyway, he's been running some cracking races in defeat. He ran a lovely race in the Ahanura, finished second, bumped into one of Joseph's who subsequently won a Fillies Group 3, and ran a cracker on Champions Weekend there, probably sat a little bit too close to the pace. So look, we've done a little hub day operation with him there just to kind of see can we find a little bit more improvement for next season. Obviously owned by Ammo Racing, so they're very keen to head forward again for the big pots next year. So likely to have a prep run in Dundalk, and we'll target the English Lincoln with him. Obviously, we know he's pretty high in the handicap there. I think he's off 97 there at the moment, and he's crept up the weight. So I think he's won over 100 grand in prize money without winning this horse. But I think
in terms of trips, Steve, what do you think is his best trip?
Yeah, look, I think a fast run 7 dropped out, but I do think he will get an easy mile as well on nice ground. So we'll see what way things are shaping up. We're going to give him an English Lincoln entry, and if we get sort of nice-ish ground for the end of March, we might head over that direction with him. I think a fast run mile on nice-ish ground will suit him as well. I think that the Doncaster track could suit him there, flat track.
Let's hope the ball bounces a little bit better for him this year, Steve. He's a gorgeous horse.
Yeah, please God.
Steve, just looking at Sir Les Patterson working here, all 3 wins have come on the all-weather. A recruit from Harry Hughes. He looks nice.
Yeah, fine smashing horse, Barry. We got him in July. Debut run for us was in the Boland sprint there, and he didn't disappoint. He was 3rd. Cracking run on debut in a Premier Handicap Champions Weekend. So I think he's a horse that'll fit the bill there next year in those Premier Handicap sprints. I think he's well weighted to win one of those next year. He has a split mark, so we're going to tie with the idea of Newcastle on Good Friday. He's obviously a 3-time winner on the poly track. We're a little unlucky the last night in Dundalk there. He was drawn wide. We had to drop in, and didn't go overly quick either, but he stayed on well. I think a stiff 6, easy 7 is perfect for him, and I think the stiff 6 in Newcastle suit him perfectly as well. So we're ready to go next Wednesday, the 26th, not 106. I'm hoping that he might be good enough there, and we'll give him a little break, one prep run then before Newcastle. He's
one of a number of, I suppose, unexposed younger horses owned by Shamrock Thoroughbreds to look forward to, and I suppose you have to replace some of the old soldiers.
Exactly, and they won't be easy to replace, but he's a fine horse to look at. This fine big horse, and he's 4 turning 5. Those sprinters can only come of age there when they're 5, 6. So I think there's plenty in the tank with him, and we like him a lot. Stephen rides him every day, and has been impressed with him from day one. So we're in good shape with him.
We're here with Independent Expert. Obviously, she won twice for you. Good run at Dundalk last time, but was a winner on penultimate run.
Yeah, obviously we've dropped her back into claiming company there just to get her a bit of confidence back into her, Barry. She's probably on a stiff enough mark handicap-wise. She was a lovely winner at Nace this year, Royal Ascot Trials Day. She won very well, and she probably won too well, and she's gone up the weight. So, look, she's been a very enjoyable filly this year for the syndicate. Stephen Mooney, my assistant, has a leg of her with his family, and she sports the colours of his grandparents, and those silks were carried by my first winner. So she's been a great fun horse. Say if you will.
Say if you will. Yeah.
So she's been a great fun horse for the lads. Took them to Royal Ascot this year for the Kensington Palace. She's not overly big either, this filly, but she wears her heart on her sleeve. She's a tough, genuine filly, and if you're looking for value in the ring, 20 grand. Winner on Royal Ascot Trials Day at Nace, and took the lads to the Galway Festival in Royal Ascot. What more could you ask for?
What's the plan this winter then with her?
Again, look, we're probably just going to tie away with the couple of mile handicaps there, and any claiming opportunities to come up for her. She's 6 turning 7 now. She's not getting any younger, but she's had 2 wins this year in plenty of places. So, any more, whatever we get out of her now for the rest of the winter months, she owes the lads nothing, and hopefully there'll be another win to come from her.
Hopefully she keeps Stephen smiling.
Yeah, please God.
Steve, this is Kerdos. What a beast he is. He could be a real flagship horse for you this year on the turf.
Yeah, please God, Barry. Very rare you get an opportunity to buy a Group 2 winner at a horse and training sale, but he's a good winner of the Temple Stakes there. In 2024, won the Beverly Bullet, very, very fast horse. Was 5th in the Group 1 King's Stand this year, Royal Ascot. So he's now fully sold. I got a lovely Englishman into him for half, Michael Skeff, and a couple of my good Shamrock lads there. Liam Ferguson is involved, Simon Murphy, Nick Oncuna, and co. So fabulous horse. Delighted to have him. We're going to castrate him now next week, and an older horse, but was in fabulous shape at the sale. Very, very cleanly, and I think there's plenty of life left in him. So for a horse that was kind of the first horse home in the King's Stand from the lowest of draws, only beaten a couple of lengths. He's proper Group 1 form in the book, this horse. 4th in the Flying 5 last year, 6th in the Abbey. So I'm hoping that he will return to listed in group level next year. Last couple of runs have been a little bit disappointing. So equally, if he's not shaping up to be the stakes horse of old, he'll be nicely handicapped for a big pot. But we're hoping that change of scenery, he could be very exciting next year.
What do you think are his biggest strengths?
Look, we've obviously wintering him now for the next 6 weeks. He'll have a little trotting programme before Christmas after we castrate him next week. So we know little about him at the moment, but very kind horse, quiet horse to be around.
Likes to grub.
Good big wide jaw between his cheeks, and fine big strong horse. So no, looking forward to him now. I think he'll be one of the flagship horses for us next year. I'm obviously looking out for a nice stakes horse to fly the flag. That will be very important, and maybe he could be a horse that might travel for us as well next year. So very, very fast horse, and hopefully he'll serve us well next year.
Steve, we're here with Perfect Judgment, a horse that last winter, fantastic servant, ran up a sequence of victories and landed a hat-trick. Not the only one to do it, though.
Yeah, no, we've had a great winter with this horse last year. A 3-year-old that just was improving through the winter months, and one race at a time he grew in confidence, and obviously a horse that likes to be held up and plenty of cover and come with one run, but he served us well all last winter, and we're back for more this winter. Yeah,
I suppose ran last week in Dundalk. When are we likely to see him again, and is he coming back down to a workable mark, do you think? Yeah, exactly. I think this horse had a split mark, so he was a little bit higher on the all-weather coming in this winter, so he's a little bit lower on the turf. I think he operates just as well on turf as all-weather, but look, he's down a couple of pound there after the last couple of runs, and hopefully he'll find his level now in the next run or two. 0-80 there next week on the 26th over the mile trip. But if he doesn't win this side of Christmas, he'll definitely be in the new year. He'll be ready to go. Obviously, he's a young horse still, Steve. We saw Sarah working him this morning. He seems to have a lovely attitude. Yeah, he's a great horse. He eats and sleeps, and you wouldn't even know he's around the place. He's a class little horse, and we paid plenty of money for him at the breeze ups, but off Tally-Ho stud, good breeders, in the court, like the sire, even though he's moved on now, but they're grand genuine horses, and they get their winners. He's not overly big, but again, he's got a big heart, and hopefully he'll get a one or two on the board this winter for us. Steve, you mentioned 2-year-old success. This fella obviously won up in Dundalk, son of Sanzamali, and seems an absolute gent. Yeah, he's a cracking horse, Barry. We didn't think that beforehand. It was a big surprise. But 25 to 1, was he? Yeah, it was a big price and a big surprise to us all. But massive heart. Jack gave him a lovely ride. We just said we'd drop the horse in, get him to teach him plenty, and he just took off up the straight. Photo finish, 3-way photo finish. We weren't sure, but when they gave the number there, we were over the moon. Nice horse, obviously owned by our Saudi clients, Sam Sayel and his family. And look at it. We've had a few calls for him. Obviously, the international demand for these maiden winners, is quite high, and so we'll see if anything comes to fruition there. And if not, we'll roll forward. There's a nice winners race over 7 there in a couple of weeks' time. Median auction winners race on the 3rd of December. So he'll have learned plenty from that run.
and I think even under a penalty, I think he'll know his job the next day pretty well. So again, look at a nice horse with plenty of size, and he'll be an extra horse as well.
Word for Jack Carney on the day, because I thought he gave him a terrific ride, to be fair, and he'd played a big part obviously in the trainers' championship success last year.
Yeah, he's been a huge part of our team there. He comes in twice a week, rides all the work with Stephen. So when you have lads like that giving you feedback on these horses, it makes the job a lot simpler, and we can plan accordingly. So again, Jack has been a great success story in his own right. He was heading jumping because the weight was getting to him a little bit, but got his weight in order there, and new diet, etc. And we loved having him around, and he gets on very well with the horses. Struck up a great relationship with a lot of those horses last winter, carried through into the turf, and to get a maiden winner first time out with him on his back, it's very special for us all.
Best of luck with this, lad.
Thank you.
Steve, the lifeblood of every yard is the two-year-olds, and obviously we can just see Son of Beauty here working on the gallops. Stephen obviously on board. Stephen Mooney looks a nice type.
Cracking horse, Barry. Yeah, we haven't got him that long. Fine big horse too. So he looks a very nice horse. He comes from the pre-trainers there. We've done a bit of time with Patrick Prendergast, the Curragh. We have him about 4 weeks there. We're just figuring him out.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a lovely horse for one of the maidens there, January, February time. 7 furlong horse, but he'd probably end up, he'd probably make up into a nice mile plus horse as well in time. Great attitude. And the Parado, obviously, very speedy stallion. Has plenty of gears to this horse, but I describe him more as a 7 furlong type anyway. But hopefully we'll see him to good effect there, hopefully in the new year.
The Chestnut Ocean Manifest, that was obviously a winner last week. John Kirkland obviously selling you a couple of horses now, and this fella looks talented enough, doesn't he?
He does. Won the maiden very well last week. Should have won a maiden long before now, but he did it very impressively. Colin was very good in him, set the fractions right. That'll give him plenty of confidence, and I'm hoping that he will be a big player through the winter months, please God.
Steve, this time last year we stood in the same spot with Gleneagle Bay. This time it's Jagged Edge, who, of course, on just his 4th start, Steve, won the Cambridgeshire, and just 3 years of age, son of Blue Point. He looks a smasher.
Yeah, cracking horse. Barry, he was bought there at the Horse and Train Sales recently. Newton Anna we're moving him on, and come from the Dermot Wealth stable. Again, as you mentioned, he won the Irish Cambridgeshire on his 4th start. Broke his maiden on soft ground early in the year. He's very lightly raced. He's only had 5 starts, 2 wins. Obviously, big Premier Handicap on his 4th run. He's a horse with a lot of untapped potential, and I'm hoping that if he develops from 3 to 4 with the size he is, I'm hoping that he'll be one of the star performers for next season.
What do you think is his biggest strengths? With a view to, obviously, you mentioned the spring, would the Lincoln be possibly on the cards?
Yeah, definitely. He's going to get an English and Irish Lincoln entry, as will Gleneagle Bay, and we'll see how they're shaping up in the springtime. But definitely we'll get an entry in both races. We'll see how he's shaping up. As I said, massive big horse for a 3-year-old with his size. I'm hoping that he will develop and furnish into a really nice model next year, and with a winter on his back.
So he's good.
Yeah, please God, no. Hopefully, now he's wintering there at the moment. Turned out, and
like myself,
a walker exercise program. But he's in good shape, and we'll be launching this horse. He'll be a Shamrock horse to be syndicated now in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out on social media. I think this is a horse worth getting involved in, and I think he'll be a smashing horse next year for us.
You're a good salesman. Steve, here with Take Heart. Obviously won a Class 2 handicap at Goodwood when trained by Johnny Murta, and you must be excited with him now.
Yeah, grand horse, Barry. We picked him up there in the autumn sale there, syndicating away at him now, and he's a horse that had very good form. This horse won a 100 grand handicap at the Goodwood Festival back in 24 for Johnny, a little over a year and a half ago now. Off a mark of 95, peak rating this year starting off 99, but slipped right back down to 88. So he's a horse I think that is well handicapped now for the winter. He broke his maiden in Dundalk, so
bit of all-weather form.
Yeah, I think he's a nice good ground horse, and I haven't been able to find too many of these middle distance horses. they can be a little bit expensive, but he came with the right money, and those 10 furlong handicaps up there, those feature races there, they can be a little bit on the weaker side, and I think a fresh horse back in the system, I think this horse will pay his way for the winter.
He looks fresh and well here, anyway.
Yeah, no, fine big strapping horse. We're just getting him into the routine there. And I think he's a horse that, he could end up in Newcastle maybe or something like that next on Good Friday next
Likely race for a 5-year-old too.
Yeah, I think he's only had 18 starts. He's had the 3 wins. I just think he's a horse with plenty of size that he'll be able to kick on with now in the winter time. And hopefully, if we get a little bit of confidence there through the winter months, we'll be able to maybe target a nice big handicap pot there next summer.
Steve, we're here with Far From Dandy. We saw you on board this morning working this horse. Had a gelding operation after running at Galway.
Yeah, he's doing well to carry me around the Gallop, Barry. We castrated him there after Galway. We bought him off Midland Park there for Shamrock, obviously, for the winter months. I think he's a grand fresh horse for the system, 3-year-old. Similar profile to Perfect Judgment coming in, similar rating, mile horse. I think even a fast run 7 might even suit him as well. But we're describing him as a miler for the moment. We're out again next Wednesday. He had his first run for us there a few weeks back, ran a bit keen and gassy. It was Halloween night and just a lot of fireworks going on around the stadium and that, and he's just one of them sort of horses he can get lit up quite easily. So I'm hoping this horse will do damage for the winter. I think once he gets his head in front, we'll be away. Steve,
obviously you had good success for Saudi owners with Pink Oxalis, but Matty, obviously a new recruit, a 2-year-old that you're looking forward to.
Yeah, grand horse, Barry. We got him there in Goffs there a couple of weeks ago there. He was third on debut in Dundalk for Adrian Murray, and came highly recommended from Robson Aguirre, who we bought Mayflower off last year. So I was keen to go back and do a bit of business with him. Lovely run on debut over the mile trip. Looked like he'd easily drop back down to 7. So we've picked out a maiden there next Wednesday. The auction maiden over 7 to get him started there for us. And he's obviously owned by a new Saudi client. Friends of the SMCL family, and hopefully he'll be lucky for them.
How nice do you think he could be at this stage?
Yeah, look, he's done one piece of work for us there, shaped up nicely there, so we'll make the entry next week, and as long as he's in good shape between now and then, we'll get him started. But I think he's more than capable of winning the maiden through the winter months, for sure.
Steve, we're here with Pink Oxalis. Gorgeous girl, what a servant for you. New Saudi owner, obviously, and this horse improved £30, and obviously was part of that famous treble as well.
Yeah, I know, she's been a superstar, Barry, for us. Very cheap purchase last year from the horse and training sale in Goffs. The owners come over, they picked her out themselves. Micheál Orlandi boards a couple of mares for them, and Micheál recommended me even before I had a runner. Me and Micheál go back a long way. I know him a great deal. My first sole owners in the yard, $6.5 grand, I think, or $5.5 grand purchase. So look, she's been a rock star. The night we had the treble to win the all-weather trainers title, she was part of that treble that night. She came back, we gave her a break. She came back and won a Goran, and she just improved steadily throughout the season. She won a lovely handicap there, Phillies handicap on Oaks weekend at the Curragh.
Her first Premier handicap winner.
First Premier handicap winner then obviously in Leopardstown on Champions weekend. That was very special, the Phillies handicap there. To get my name on the board on a big weekend like that in my first season was huge. The Phillies improved near on £30 plus there now. The last between the last 12 months really, and she's been a real star. She's not over big, but she's a big heart.
Yeah, like obviously the Cooley Stakes, that was her last run. She was I think 7th. You still think though that there could be a bit of black type in her?
Yeah, look, she was probably a little unlucky not to get placed. She ran a mighty race. She's only beaten a length and a half. So we're going to winter her there now and give her a little break, and we'll get one prep run in Dundalk there before the Irish Lincoln. She's proven Curragh winner. She loves the soft ground. I think she'll get herself ready pretty quickly, and we'll chase a bit of black type then after that. One of those listed races in Goran. I think it comes up there a month later in April, and she's a course winner around there. So we'll hunt for a bit of black type after the Irish Lincoln.
Best of luck with her, Steve.
Thanks, Barry.
Steve, this is an unraced 2-year-old, Sergi. Pronounce the name for me.
Sergi Pekakiev, his boy, Barry. Il Sereno is the dam, so He's a nice horse that came from the Breezes this year. Derek McCormick breeds him, owned by Mr. John Kirkland and Mr. and Mrs. Jim Ryan. So he's just come back to us there now, and I'm hoping that he'll be a horse that'll shape up there through the winter, and it'll be one for a maiden hopefully in January, February time.
The fourth lot, a couple of new horses here in front. Stephen leading the one in front and Innumerable at the back. I like this filly.
Fifth lot actually, yeah, you were late this morning. Inish Fallen there, the one in front, we bought him there recently at the horse and training sale. Was as high as 100 this horse actually, so only a 4-year-old. Comes from the Brian Meehan stable there in the UK. They were just obviously faithfully moving him on genuinely, so we picked him up there for 18,000. We have him fully syndicated out, and he'll be a fresh horse there for the sprints there through the winter months in Dundalk. Hoping to try and get him out there mid-December for one of those sprints there, so we'll see how we're getting on with him, but we're liking what we see so far.
What about this girl here, Innumerable? Obviously, we mentioned her form is working out quite nicely for her maidens, and bit of a setback, didn't she? But she returned with a good run at Dundalk there last week.
Yeah, obviously we had a bit of a setback in the spring after the last run there in the maiden in Leopardstown. She had a cracking run in the Curragh in that median auction. The Group 1 juvenile turf sprint winner was behind her that day, so she has some good form in the book. She was just ready to start the last night, and she may have just needed the run. Ran a little bit free and gassy for not unusual for one of mine first time out. I like to leave them with a little bit to find for the next day, so she's definitely one to look forward to for the winter. I'm hoping there'll be a couple of races to be won with her.
Would it be a nursery handicap before Christmas, perhaps?
Yeah, there's a race there, I think, on the 12th of December, not to 70 over 6. So we look forward to seeing her then.